Hello! Shoyan here. I'm a carpenter based in Japan. Today, I'm installing the Nokiten. I'll show you how to install Eaves Soffit, which we call Nokiten in Japan. Before installing the Nokiten, I install the barge boards and fascia boards with special shapes. I secure the bottom using long 100mm screws to firmly attach them, then plug the hole with tarusen. Joining the corners like this can be tricky, especially on sunny days. Dry air and heat from the outside makes the surface warp, so doing this work after rain or on a cloudy day is ideal. Anyway, I must continue, so I tighten the screws as much as possible to attach the corners well. After that, I plane the joint to fix the level difference and to remove the scratches. Now I'm working on the frame for the Nokiten. I start around the valley rafter, which is the most difficult and hated part of the job. Because the valley rafter's bottom is 1 cm lower than the common rafter, its bottom edge overlaps the Nokiten frame, so I chisel off that part. I install insect repellent ventilation materials on the fascia boards. A variety of sizes are available, including 15mm and 20mm. This time, I use 15mm ones, similar to shims. This material allows air to enter. As you can see, the plywood roof sheathing has a 10 cm gap at the top. This is where air enters, passes through above the roof, and exits to the outside from the ridge. It uses a type of ventilation system known as a ridge vent. After installing the ventilation materials, I secure thin trims above them. The grooves are cut to this trim to join the Nokiten. This will be installed at the same height as the fascia board. Now, I install the thin trims. This was quite challenging since I had to secure them above the 15mm plastic. With only a nail gun, it was difficult to secure it, and using screws would go too far back. To install it straight, I had to adjust it precisely, and it took time to finish. It is difficult to work on areas with short eaves. As this section is narrow and complicated, it was especially challenging. It's under a valley rafter, and my helmet barely fits in there. For eaves, the best length to work with is 700mm to 800mm. Now, I start framing. The wood is 40mm square. Unfortunately, it won't fit between the rafters and the boards, so I reduce the thickness to about 36 to 37mm. Then secure it from the bottom at the bottom edge of the rafters. To confirm the frame location and secure it, I cut a piece of Nokiten board and fit it into the groove. For the edge of the Gable board section, I will shape the frame into a ladder beforehand. In the triangle section, I will install the Nokiten in the short direction, the same as the eaves. In contrast, I will install the Nokiten longitudinally at the edge of the Gable board section, so the frame will be installed in a shorter direction on that part. It is impossible to align the Nokiten boards properly if they are secured one by one to the rafters, because their height varies. Based on the markings I drew in the area, I will fit the ladder-shaped frame to it and insert the Nokiten in the groove. As a result, it will be straight and the installation is much easier. Due to its ladder shape, only about 10 screws are needed to secure it. Now I cut the Nokiten planks, which are 10mm knotless cedar. Although there are no knots, their colors vary, ranging from whitish to reddish. Because they're going to be stained with a dark color, I don't need to arrange them according to color. Even so, I would like to decide the order so that the planks have a balanced color. Before installing the Nokiten, I measure each plank and decide on its location. Initially, I'll install the Nokiten around the valley rafters, which is the most complicated part. Until all of eaves are measured, we cannot be sure how far they will protrude. I measure the front entrance and mark the position of each Nokiten on a piece of wood. As a guide ruler, I use the wood at the back of the house. Now, I can begin installing the Nokiten. I first install them from the bargeboard side. The valley roof section will be challenging, so I'd prefer to start there. But I will also struggle if the bargeboard section is done last. So I'm going to begin with the bargeboard side. I first glue the planks and secure them with 4mm by 25mm staples. Eave frames are hidden with the Nokiten in modern houses. Comparatively, Japanese-style houses have exposed eaves. We use good-looking boards over the rafters. Modern houses have sturdy eaves. Fascia boards support all rafters, so the pressure is equally distributed. When snow accumulates on the roof of Japanese-style houses, pressure is applied to each rafter. Snow falling from the second-floor roof to the first-floor eaves can cause the rafters to break. With fascia boards, the eaves are sturdy and won't break. I installed the Nokiten on the valley rafter section. It was the right decision to put off fitting around the valley rafters. The Nokiten could not have been installed in a short direction without another frame receiver. There was no way to install it with just a ladder-shaped frame. I was right to do it this way. I adjusted several times because it doesn't fit with the miter joint initially. I hope it works. Somehow, I escaped the valley rafter section. I feel like I have completed about half of the installation. The remaining area just needs to be secured at the right position, regardless of its length. However, only the last section around the bargeboard will be challenging. Finally, I installed the last Nokiten around the bargeboard. Since staples cannot be used in this section, I apply more glue than usual and insert the tongue into the groove as much as possible. It's hard to explain in words, but it means I insert the plank as deep as possible first. Then I pull back the Nokiten plank. The groove in the bargeboards is made deep, so the last two Nokiten are about 1mm wider than the others. The tongue only goes into the groove, about 3 to 4mm. I use glue to secure them. Next, I install the Nokiten to the triangular gable end section. They are installed longitudinally in this area. I use a plank size as it is, and align the joint's position to be straight. Despite the long joints, this section is easy to install. Starting with the bargeboard's groove, I finish on the wall. For both the left and right gable ends, I install the Nokiten plank from the bargeboard side. This way, it is easier to finish. I finished installing the Nokiten. The valley rafter section was complicated, but I made it work. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.